Hello and welcome back to Simply Gregster EV. I often get asked, how come I don't feature any plug-in hybrids on this channel? And I always tell the same excuse. Oh, I'm not really a big fan. I don't really like plug-in hybrids. I don't see much of a point. But lately I've come around. Perhaps they have a bit more interest than I initially thought. So today we have ourselves a 2024 Toyota Prius Prime Plug-in Hybrid. We'll get into this, and this is actually going to be the first time we featured a plug-in hybrid on the channel. So stay tuned and we'll go over everything the 2024 Prius Prime has to offer. So here it is, the 2024 Prius Prime. Toyota is no stranger to making plug-in hybrids, but Toyota has also designed an absolutely beautiful vehicle. I love the way this looks. It looks like it belongs in 2035, the design of this car. We're just letting it charge up now. Of course, I got it with no EV battery. Roughly 13 to 14 kilowatt hour battery on this car, good for about 70 to 80 kilometers of range, depending on the wheel size. These are on 19s. 150 horsepower, 2-liter Atkin cycle gas engine. There's also 161 horsepower electric motor. Actually, there's two electric motors on here that drive the hybrid system. We'll continue with the styling again because it looks absolutely fantastic on here. Full glass roof. This is all glass up here. This vehicle does not have the $650 180 watt solar panel option, which I think is a bit cheesy. I don't see much of a point with that. I was never a fan of solar panel roofs and all of that. Coming around to the back, again, it looks absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love the way that this car looks. We'll just step over the wire. Let's see where we can open it up. And of course, it is a proper hatchback. Very nice, including the grocery bag. But yeah, I love a good hatchback. As I said, we're just charging up here on a Flow. That looks like a Flow G5, the older G5. So we're charging that up. But yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. This car looks great. Let's go have a look at the interior. I think Toyota did a fantastic job. Let's go have a look at that interior. So here we go. Let's dig into this interior. Typical Toyota, everything is very Toyota in here. These seats are very nice. If you're familiar with Toyotas, you will be right at home in here. This is what you would expect. Let's just squeeze in. I have to say, I don't like the steering wheel. It has that unpronounceable BZ4X, BXZ4, whatever it's called. Same style in here, the layout. A bit too much buttons going on here, or not really good place for your cruise control and whatnot. The steering wheel actually blocks this screen. So as you're driving, you're always having to move your head up and down to actually see what it's displaying. Here, we'll get it turned on here. There we go, 2 clicks for on. As I said, it kind of blocks out everything on here. Very nice interior materials. Climate control still has buttons, USB-C, that's fairly standard now. I don't believe there is a wireless charging phone pad in here. These are your drive select. You have your hybrid mode, you have gas mode, battery electric mode. As I said, roughly 70 to 80 kilometers on battery, and that will deliver about 80 to 90 horsepower. Toyota doesn't publish that figure. Very nice in here, your typical screen, very Toyota. I find it's quite fast. We won't get too much in here. I don't want to focus too much on this side, but it's fairly standard Toyota equipment in here, and you will be right at home. Let's go check out the back. Door handles are actually up here near the C-pillar. Plenty of room back here. Standard Toyota, nothing crazy going on back here. I have to say that's a bit odd what they did back to the exterior a bit. It has door handles in the front, but it has the C-pillar handles in the back. And again, your interior layout is very Toyota. We won't focus too much in here. Plenty of room, plenty of storage. As I said, this is kind of just a carryover from the Corollas and whatnot. So you might be wondering why I came around and said, maybe plug-in hybrids are kind of the in between, bridging the gap between internal combustion and full EV. A lot of people are still skeptical about electric vehicles, about complete battery electric vehicles, and I could kind of understand why. One main benefit with this car is it will charge on 120 volts fine. Now, so will a battery electric vehicle, but it will take a lot longer because obviously the battery is bigger, and there's always a cost involved with the installation of your home charger. I'm not going to lie, it can be quite expensive, and also you may not be able to install one based on your electrical requirements, but this will charge just fine on 120 volts. Now, so will a battery electric vehicle, it will just take longer. And most people's drives are really in that 40 to 60 kilometers per range per day. This will handle it fine. Maybe you're not comfortable with having a full battery electric vehicle. You still suffer some from range anxiety, and you kind of just want to bridge that gap, as I mentioned. Well, this will do roughly about 1,000 kilometers combined range on battery and with your gas engine. So that's absolutely ridiculous. My bladder will not last that long. My bladder will maybe last 300 kilometers at most. So again, very impressive. This is what Toyota does good. They've always done the hybrid stuff well. They've always done car building well, as we featured a few of their products on our channel. So I completely get it why people are looking more for the plug-in hybrid solution versus just going full battery electric. And you know what, that's fine. I'm fine with it. I totally get it. I'm not going to be out there screaming from the rooftop saying, you people should have got the battery electric and so on and so forth. Like, how can you do this? No, you know what, everyone does their own thing. I do me, you do you. That's it. But as I said, this car looks absolutely fantastic. I really wish it was a full battery electric vehicle, because they would sell 3 times as many of these. Let's go for a drive and we're going to see what it's like. Total output on this car is roughly 220 horsepower combined from the gas engine and from the high voltage battery electric system. It actually goes quite well, but it's just extremely loud. Again, 0 to 100 in about 6.5 seconds, 6.7 seconds, something like that. So it does have plenty of power. It's just extremely loud and unrefined when doing it. I don't know. Okay, let's test the handling of this. We're gonna come up to the first corner. Full gas. We're gonna just throw it in there like this. Yeah, it's stuck, but it is on Michelin's. Let's see what the brakes are. On the brakes, throw it in. Yeah, quite good. Steering feels quite nice. Minimal body roll. Feels quite good through that set of corners. Pretty planted, actually. Much better than what I was expecting. This car kind of has the makings of a hot hatch. Yeah, if they would do a bit spicier version, it'd be a pretty solid hot hatch contender. Pretty impressed with that, actually. I'm really impressed. Just driving along here in EV mode right now, and you know what? I quite like it. Sure, there's not a lot of power. There's not as much power as a full battery electric vehicle would have, but it's still about 80 to 90 horsepower, which is perfectly adequate for your daily driving needs. You're not really going to need more of that, especially if you're driving on the highway or in the city. But it's very smooth, very quiet in here. There's kind of this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing going on here, because as I said before, if they made this a full electric vehicle, it'd be amazing. It looks amazing, and you know it's from Toyota, so it's going to be reliable, it's going to be properly engineered, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. Because right now in battery mode, I'm staggered how good this car is in battery mode, but also how good it is as just a car. It's loud when the gas engine's on, but that could be tuned out. They could put more soundproofing in, but this car has really, really impressed me. I'm so impressed with the handling, with the performance. I said it before, it almost has the makings of a hot hatch, which is the most impressive part for me, that Toyota can make a fun car like this. And I never thought I would say a Toyota Prius would be a fun car. but we're still in battery mode. Everything is good here. And even the acceleration is great. I mean, it's a lot of fun. So there you have it. Those are some of my thoughts and feelings and experiences on the Toyota Prius Prime. I was not expecting to have this much fun in this car. As I've mentioned so many times already, I was never really a big fan of the plug-in hybrids. I always found they were a bit pointless and useless, that we should just skip to full battery electric vehicles. But you know what? After driving this car, I think we should maybe just take a step back and explore plug-in electric hybrids. And they do fill a gap. They fill a gap for a lot of people. And this car was an awesome car to drive. It was so much fun. I'm absolutely grinning ear to ear of how much fun it was to drive. You have efficiency, you have good range, because you have both the gas and hybrid system working. Although I'm not really a fan of gas engines anymore, I did find this one quite loud. But I keep an open mind. I always keep an open mind going into these reviews. And as I said, I've been changing my stance lately. I said that we should maybe be looking more at vehicles like this. It doesn't weigh very much, about 3,500 pounds, so about the same as a Model 3, as a standard range Model 3. And I find it looks quite good. You can't say this is an ugly car. This car looks like it's 10 years in the future. And if they ever do, or they should do, a hot hatch version, because this was awesome fun through the corners and it's on real tires and the brakes feel good, I am just staggered. I'm staggered with how good this car is. I was not expecting it to be this good. And the best part about it, in electric mode, it drives like a regular battery electric vehicle. That's the part that blew me away the most, is that it felt like an EV. It had good power in EV mode, pretty decent range for a 13 to 14 kilowatt hour battery pack. Charges up relatively quick at home. You know what this car is? This car, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to do any of those mental calculations. What's my efficiency? What am I getting now? You just get into it and drive. And I think, as much as I do love battery electric vehicles, that's something that a lot of people don't like to do. They don't like to sit there having that math calculation scene from The Hangover. They just want to get into their cars and drive. And even with Teslas, there is some element of, okay, well, maybe I have to do a stop here or there. Some people aren't like myself, that I don't mind doing the stop. It's already planned for having lunch and whatnot. Some people, they could drive 6 hours straight. And you know what? That's cool. Let them do that. I highly recommend this car if you're not in the market for a full battery electric vehicle. You can't go wrong with Toyota. This thing will outlive all of us, as Toyotas usually do. Build quality is fantastic on it. This is absolutely fantastic car. I'm kind of getting at a loss for words with how much I do like this car. I'm really impressed. This is a solid 10 on 10. Now I know why the other outlets have given this car such high praise, because it is an awesome machine, absolutely awesome. And I really hope they do some sort of TRD version or spicier version, because as it stands right now, this is a hot hatch that flies under the radar. There, I said it. Hot hatch performance, hot hatch looks, hot hatch handling. Yeah, absolutely amazed. $46,000 as tested. I forgot to mention that. $46,000 Canadian as tested. Does qualify for some rebates. I believe around $4,000 total. I don't really see how you can go wrong with this car. If you've made it this far through my ramblings, please think about liking and subscribing. I keep seeing 90% of my views are from people who aren't subscribed to the channel. So what's stopping you? It's free, and you get to hear me moaning and groaning and ranting and raving. That's totally worth it. So we'll see you again in the next video, and thank you for watching.